A shout out to the best coffee in the business, the best coffee in the world, the best coffee in the United States of America.
Chimera Coffee. Go to www.chimeracoffee.com. Chimera and coffee with a K.
Type in the coupon code.
Show the art and save some money. It's that simple, guys.
Hey, make coffee great again.
Make coffee. No, don't say that. That's
come on,
terrible.
man.
That's been beat up.
No, man.
That's like the Run DMC logo.
Oh,
it's
true.
been beat up.
Now beat that ass up.
It's been spanked too many times.
Let's just spank that coffee, man. That's what I do.
So go to chimeracoffee.com, type in that coupon code, get yourself a travel mug for the holidays.
Yeah, we're Christmas shopping, right?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Christmas shopping, I think you deserve a new gi, man. That gi's looking all jacked up, all raggedy, all patched up, broken down, like my Kia
whip.
My Kia whip.
If you're like me and you need a brand new gi,
yeah,
that's
what I'm trying to say.
That.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you need a brand new gi, you're like me and need a brand new gi. You're like me and need a brand new gi. Go to invertedgear.com
and get the gi.
Boom. Type in the coupon code Show the Art 15
and get some of that. You're
that
welcome.
action.
We just killed it. Drop the mic. Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? You're listening to the Show the Art podcast. We are your host. My name is Ames. Alongside with me is my brother, Abe. How we doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you, brother?
Feeling good, man. And who do we have on today?
Today we have a special guest, Black Belt Alex Ecklin. Alex, how are you, brother?
Good. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
No, thanks a lot for having us, man. Where are you located at, actually?
Right now I'm in Manhattan, but I just opened up a school in Brooklyn, and I train with Vitor Shaolin, who's in New York City.
Dope, man. Actually, can you give us like a rundown of like how your journey started into jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I started jiu-jitsu in 2006.
Okay.
I did judo as a kid. I did karate a little bit, but I really took it seriously when I was 17.
Nice.
And when I first started, there was only a couple of schools in New York.
Okay.
And I live in Brooklyn, so I found a school close to my house, and I was there for a couple of years. And then the school that I was at, they didn't really care too much about competing and things like that.
Okay.
They had different focuses, and I really wanted to compete, and then I saw Shaolin came to town, saw a YouTube video, I was sold, and then I joined, and 8 years later, I got my black belt under him,
nice.
And still training with him.
Dope, man.
Awesome, man. Now, real quick, you have an accent. What is your heritage? Where are you from?
From Brooklyn. Just kidding. I'm from Ukraine, actually.
Okay.
Nice,
So I speak Russian, and I still speak Russian every day, so yeah, some people tell me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was
man.
like, man, I'm trying to figure out what his accent is, and I couldn't pinpoint it.
Couldn't decipher where you're from.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool, man. So you're fluent in Russian?
Yes.
That's awesome, man.
That's dope, man.
Do you come across a lot of Russian-speaking people in Brooklyn or in New York in general?
Yeah, I do actually, and even my school, the name is Masterskaya,
Okay.
and that's actually, it's a Russian word, and it translates to a workshop. It's a little play on words there too.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what it meant because I saw master. I figured that was a play on words. So please tell us about your new school, Masterskaya. What is it all about? How are you approaching teaching? And what kind of programs you offer?
Yeah, give us a breakdown.
Yeah, so I've been, training with Shaolin. I visited some other schools throughout the years, and I'm a lifelong student, and I've been teaching in a few places, but this is the first time where I'm on my own, where I opened up my own spot. So when I opened, I literally wrote down the things that I myself wished I had or wished was a little bit different throughout the years, and then I try to do that, provide that in my school. The first thing was definitely the money thing, because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is getting a little bit pricey. So I started a new system where it's not a new system, but maybe a little bit new for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where it's donation based.
Wow.
And that way also I don't have to worry too much about the behind the desk type stuff.
True.
And the way I teach classes, I'm a firm believer of balance. So like Shaolin is really old school. He's the basic. He's all about the basics. Is if he rolls with anybody that is coming coming at him with something new. He, his fundamentals and his basics are, enable him to be able to be fine with it. So he has, his base is, really good. His balance, his body, his arm placement, body placement, everything like that. So I try to, really pay a lot of respect to the basics. But I try to stay, what's happening in the modern scene, what are people doing, and being up to date with all that stuff. So I try to balance it out with both the old school and the new school.
Awesome, man.
That's
and
dope,
I feel
man.
like that's the best combination. A person that is structured, their foundation is in the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu, balance, pressure, posture, things like that. But,
Exactly.
But is willing to go above and beyond and try some more, I don't know, intricate, game plans, strategies, the more modern stuff, things that sometimes you have to be a little bit more agile to do, right? Or sometimes you have to be a little bit more, I don't know,
Coordinated.
and a risk taker.
Okay.
But not everything's like that. But that's great, man. And also I want to give a shout out to your instructor. I believe he's the GI MVP of Polaris because every time he's there, he puts on probably one of my favorite performances.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Ames.
Oh, yeah, man. What I found really cool. Can we go back into the donations for your gym? So how does that work? I find that very interesting.
Yeah, so a few years ago, I started to, I'm always looking at different ways, to up my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I try to work out, I try to do this, I try to do it, and then I started to do a little bit of yoga.
Yeah.
There's a yoga school out here called Yoga to the People, and as soon as I saw their system, I was like, wow, this is a really cool system, and I really liked it. So I was always thinking, oh, maybe one day I could do this in jiu-jitsu, and I'm able to do it. So in my school, one of the biggest complaints I hear from people is they can't train. Over the years I heard this, like they can't train because of the contract, because of money, because they lost their job, whatever. So I thought this would be able to solve it. So in my school, there's no contracts, there's no memberships, nothing like that. There's no free trial. There's all of that stuff. I did away with. It's very simple. You come in, and there's suggested donations, and it's only suggested, and then they're even though they're suggested, I still try to do it 2 or 3 or 4 times cheaper than any school in New York City. So the suggested for the day is $10. Suggested for a month is $100. Suggested for a year is $1,000. And if somebody wants to stay forever, then there's a lifetime supporter, and that's $5,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
So,
man.
Quick question.
Yep.
I read on your website that there is some sort of qualification process. Can you explain about that? Because not anyone could just walk in, right?
Yeah, so I'm kind of I don't know if it's smart or not, but I'm doing things almost opposite of how somebody would open up a new jiu-jitsu school. The steps that they will follow, I probably do the things the opposite way.
Yeah.
So instead of like a lot of places like, oh, here's our address, come for a free trial, and then they try to sign you up. I do it the backwards way.
Okay.
I tell people that they can't just come in. So they have to send me an email or Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Find a way to get the address, because the address is not listed anywhere online.
Interesting.
So they have to send me a message, and then I see that they're not crazy, and then I respond with the address, and then they come, and then once they come, nothing is regulated. Like in my school, the only rules we have are based on safety and hygiene. I run a really open training. I don't want to stress people out with anything.
True.
The only stress I want people to have is whether they're going to be drilling the triangle or the leg drag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you, man. Changing the game. I find that so cool.
Yeah, man. And is it classes like, hey, you can come to our school and here's the class schedule, or is it open mat every time?
No, it's we have a regular classes, but it's similar to an open mat format. I took away some things from an open mat format.
Okay.
Because what happened was a few years ago, Shaolin he offered a Sunday open mat, and I've been running the Sunday open mat at Shaolin's for a number of years. and people from different gyms, from Marcelo's, Henzo's, Alliance, Fabio Clement, whatever, they started to come over to Sunday Open Mat, and then it's when I'm at Open Mat, I kind of I just I let people do their thing, and if people ask me questions, I try to help out, or
True.
I also try to pair people up with each other. So I took away some of this to my school. So in my school, like sometimes if I know that somebody has a competition coming up, and they really love some triangle setups from the closed guard. So while I'm teaching a move, that person is going to be drilling the triangle instead. So it's a class, but it has some aspects of the open mat in it.
I dig it, man.
Nice, man. That's awesome. You've opened the school, right?
Yeah, just a few months ago in the end of June.
Okay. How are things going? Like what is the I don't know. What are the people saying? The people that have been coming in, what is their reaction? And what about the rest of the jiu-jitsu community that have heard about this? What are they saying?
Yeah, so I mean, so far it's been a positive response. And that's why I reached out to you guys about the podcast and stuff. I'm trying to spread the word. The real mission for me, it's affordability in jiu-jitsu. I just wish that jiu-jitsu, like without jiu-jitsu, I don't know what I would be doing. Like my confidence level wouldn't be high. I wouldn't, all the things that I've been doing, the traveling, all the beautiful things that happened to me in my life, I definitely wouldn't have had it without jiu-jitsu. So I really believe that jiu-jitsu, can really add a lot to many, many people's lives, beyond like a self-defense aspect. When people talk about jiu-jitsu, they're, oh, it's self-defense. Fine, that's cool. But, jiu-jitsu can offer so much more. So I'm trying to make jiu-jitsu affordable for everybody, because throughout the years of me teaching and training, that was the number one thing that I always heard from people, why they quit or why they stopped or whatever. So people are responding really well. Everyone that comes to the school, I'm never trying to sell anybody. I don't try to trick anybody. I don't try to do anything. Just try to teach them the best jiu-jitsu that I can, and have good hard training. So
True.
It's been a lot of fun. Some people online on Reddit and stuff, we're saying some nice things.
Nice.
And so somebody in South Jersey, they're thinking of changing some things also.
Nice.
Giving some seminars and stuff like that.
Okay, so quick question. This could be something that comes up. I'm not saying this is what I believe or I feel, but this is probably something a naysayer can say, and that is about the whole team aspect. Everyone frowns upon in jiu-jitsu, like going to another team and training with them as opposed to staying with your school and, the whole trader aspect. What do you say to those people that clown your school almost because you are an open format?
Yeah, so well, first of all, just it's on the same topic, but just to stray just a little bit.
Okay.
We do have like a team. I'm building a team. There's a bunch of people that are regulars that they come all the time. I would say probably like maybe 60-70% that are they're all the time. This is their home school.
Okay.
And probably 30-40% are people that drop in or people that cross train with us.
I see.
So my opinion is this. Jiu-jitsu, it's very, very honest. I don't believe that the trader aspect. I'm old school as well. So I understand it. I started and I saw people that jump gyms and then things like that. People that are very entitled. They feel like they pay their monthly dues, and then you owe them the world, and then in a week they leave and they go somewhere else and they try to do the same thing. So I understand that, but at the same time, jiu-jitsu is very, very honest. So I believe that if people are paying money, that it's true that they should be able to, if they don't feel the product is good enough, go somewhere else and then get something else. I understand the frustrations with many instructors, with the people that come and go. But again, I thought about it a lot, and I think like in my school, it's very open. Like anybody can come and go as they please, and it's because I'm not worried about the money. I believe that a lot of instructors don't like that, is because like if somebody's on a long-term contract, and then they go to another school and maybe get injured in another school, then they have to like cancel their contract, and then issues come up like that.
I get you.
But people that come to my school, I have a very, very safe training environment. I even made up I'm always trying to add something and then make it better. I started a small little rule in my school, like because we have so many visitors and because so many people train differently, like when people come in, before they roll, they agree to the rules. So are they going to roll IBJJF rules? Are they going to roll ADCC rules? Are they going to roll, with heel hooks, without heel hooks, with wrist locks, neck cranks? How are they going to roll?
Nice.
Interesting.
And this has been, people are on the same page, and really, knock on wood, there's not, really, really limited injuries, and people are happy.
Awesome, man.
So how do you like allow people to pick, and how does everybody else know, hey, this guy is training for a ADCC tournament, he's only playing by ADCC rules? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I make a small announcement to, like, right before we roll, that if you're rolling with somebody new or you're rolling with somebody you're not sure, you agree to the rules right before you roll. And it's really quick, like, hey, heel hooks okay, leg locks okay, yes, no, maybe, whatever.
Okay.
And I tell people, like, if there's no agreement, then you guys are going by IBJJF rules. So for your belt level, whatever appropriate rules regarding that.
Yeah. Gotcha. So people are actually just kind of asking each other.
Yes.
Okay, that's
cool, man.
It makes sense.
Yeah, what I really appreciate about what you're doing is just you could just tell the love that you have for jiu-jitsu. It's not that complicated, right? You just want to share your love with everyone else, or your love for jiu-jitsu with everyone else. It's kind of similar at the gym that I coach at. It's just wherever you want to go. If you want to go train somewhere and try a different workout, go ahead. Let us know how it is. We'll actually give you like a referral if you want to train this kind of way. Then we have some friends that train this kind of way. It's just like in fitness and whatever you're doing in your journey, it's just like whatever you want to do. It's your world or whatever. We support you 100% as long as you keep it 100% real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think loyalty is a two-way street.
Yes.
My way to be loyal is by giving people freedom.
Yeah.
And my way of being loyal is by trying to improve myself and trying to bring people, the highest quality training possible. And then if I'm really loyal to people, I feel that they're going to be loyal back to me. And
absolutely.
so far it's been nothing but good things.
Absolutely, and it shows a confidence as well in what you do. It's just like, oh, if you want to go train anywhere else, go ahead. Let me know how it is. Right? It kind of gives the member or the student kind of confidence in their teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a long time ago, before I take inspirations from everything. And like a long time ago, when I was still in college. I was looking for another job. I was teaching jiu-jitsu a little bit, but I needed more money and stuff like that. So I went for an interview in the Apple Store, and something that really blew my mind in the Apple Store is they were like, "Oh, we're not mad if somebody like comes into the Apple Store and then like just goofs off for like 3 hours and then like they don't buy anything and they leave. Like we're not mad because we want the people to love the Apple Store, and then in 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, whatever, maybe they'll come back and they'll buy something, and then it'll be a success."
That's absolutely true. You leave them with like a good taste, like a good first impression.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So are you looking to, you said you're starting a team, right? Are you looking to have, team members compete and under your name in the future?
Yeah, for the IBJJF tournaments, we're under Vitor Shaolin. I still train with Shaolin, every week. That's my coach, and we compete under him. And but for the smaller tournaments, like we're going to be doing the grappling industries. There's about 5-6 guys already competing. Nice. And yeah, they'll go under. But I don't have like a they say that leave the ego at the door. I guess. True. That really stuck with me, and with other things, not just enrolling. Like I really could care less if like Master Sky is the #1 team or whatever like that. I would be really, really proud if in the future Master Sky grows and it becomes affordable jiu-jitsu, not just in Brooklyn, in other parts of the country, whatever. This I would be really happy about. But us winning, like even if somebody comes to train with me and then they put another team, like that's fine. I don't really mind that.
Yeah, it's more about winning in life. It's more about touching the students in more than just jiu-jitsu training, right?
Just winning, yeah.
Yeah, it's the big picture. I'm not looking at this in a small way.
For sure, man. Now, let's go into you yourself. You're an avid competitor. You've competed at EBI a few years ago. You kind of like got a little viral, if you will, about your technique, the G-roll. How's that been going? I know you have your website. How's everything going with that?
Yeah, things are going good. Like that same person that introduced me to yoga, he introduced me to this book Tao Te Ching. And then I read it when I was like 18, 19 or something, and then it really really affected me, and I kind of just take it. So the biggest thing I take away from that book, and then from that just I don't really stress too much or think too much. Like I just put things out there and then see what happens, kind of thing. So
Okay.
like I barely even promote. Like I'm promoting my school now, but even that website, I'm barely promoting it. But people are still talking about it. People are still shouting it. Sending me messages,
Nice.
even sending small donations from that video. So it's really really cool.
Dope.
There was like slight controversy about it that
Yeah.
Samir Chantre and then Kautera,
Yeah.
they did it too, which yeah, it's it's the same technique, but I came up with it accidentally. I'm sure they came up with it. I'm not sure if before or after me,
Yeah.
and I don't really care either. But yeah, I came up with it accidentally, and then I started doing it. And this guy in my gym, Sergio, he's a pro fighter.
Uh-huh.
Just got his black belt also from Shaolin. He kept bugging me. He's like, Alex, you gotta make money on it, man. He goes, you gotta upload it. And then I didn't really care too much about making the money as far as I just wanted to like share it.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like my secret weapon almost, because like people, like for a long time the way I supported myself was doing private lessons. So when people do private lessons with me, I would show it to them, and then they would have such a high success rate with it. So I was like, man, more people should do it, and then it can be funny body type. So I just threw it out there to see what happened, and then yeah, it kind of blew up, and it was went really well, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and I'm still doing it till this day,
Dude, speaking of that, I just remembered a funny story. Years ago, I'm a brown belt right now. Years ago, I think I was probably a blue belt, and I was competing, might have been Naga, one of these local tournaments, and I competed in the finals against one of your students or teammates.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I just remembered it right now. And I
Yeah.
remember clearly because at the time, the G-roll was popular, right? You started releasing information about it. And I remember I don't know if you guys were coaching and saying it, or you said it right before the match and I heard you guys, and I didn't take offense to it at all. I was just like, oh shit, okay, they're going for it. But I think you or somebody was like, hey, if you hit the G-roll during this match, I'm gonna buy you dinner or something like that.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Okay, yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, and I remember too because me and the guy that I was competing against, we got stuck in 50-50 for like a couple minutes, and it was the first time I really like got into that position in competition. It was kind of frustrating for me to get out, but he did hit me with the G-roll, and it was funny because I'm like, wow, that's the power of a move. If you really want something.
Yeah.
And it's a secret weapon, and I think that was the difference maker as far as points as well. But that's my funny story. I remember that. And, your student wound up beating me and probably getting a free dinner that night.
And man, you cost me like $60, man.
Oh, he eats well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it came out, I'm always having, when people who know me, I'm pretty serious. When I run the class,
Okay.
I'm pretty serious. But at the same time, I like to have a lot of fun. So, like as soon as I came out with that move, like I had a few friends, and so I even maybe on Facebook or in person, I forgot where I said it, but I was like, I'm like, I came out with the Plataforma challenge. Plataforma, it's a steakhouse that's really really expensive.
Oh no.
Right next to Shaolin's.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Plataforma challenge. Anyone that hits the G-roll and gets it on video gets a Plataforma lunch. Because the lunch is cheaper than the dinner.
Yeah.
So I was like, gets a Plataforma lunch. So the Plataforma challenge, it only lasted for a couple of months because I soon became broke, handing out all those lunches. So I had to, stop it. But yeah, definitely a few people took advantage of that.
And that's a good motivator, man. Lunch. Who doesn't like lunch?
A free one at that, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is, I remember knowing what it was because at the time, my instructor, Marcos, he's still my instructor now. He's our instructor. Marcos, he's always feeding us new techniques. He's always researching. He's on the interwebs for everything. So as a good instructor should, right? And at the time, he was drilling it, and he was playing around with it, right? So I remember what it was when you said it, when your student, and I still couldn't stop it.
Yeah, I think I was following, Show the Art from when you guys probably had like really not many followers at all.
Yeah.
And I think somebody messaged me from Show the Art really long time ago asking if I have any if I have any footage.
Okay.
But I'm like the least technology savvy person there is, and I was like, well, it's on YouTube, but I don't really know how to give it to you guys, and I don't know whatever came up with that.
And
but yeah, I remember you guys hitting me up a really long time ago about it.
Okay. It was probably Marcos, and the funny thing is, we probably thought like, oh, this guy, he's too good for us.
No. I'm still to this day. I'm really bad about that.
No. I'm
No
teasing
pressure.
you, man. Honestly, when we started Show the Art, it was just for fun. And it still is
Yeah.
just for fun. We're just trying to have a good time and do something we love. But enough about me.
Yeah.
How was your experience at EBI, man? Because it's a big event now.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did two EBIs. So the first one, this guy Jamie. It's I don't know, like somehow, especially with me, like just I don't know, like I guess maybe because I'm I try to be good to people. Maybe people are good to me,
Mm-hmm.
and people that I barely even know. So like this guy, he barely knew me, and then he like got me somehow, some way. He got me a spot in EBI. And
Nice.
the funny thing is, I didn't really I didn't know him that well. His name is Jamie from California, and I'm still friends with him still to this day. He used to run BJJ rants.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
and then so I was on the first one, and the first one, Eddie Bravo is such an interesting guy because when he back in the day when he came out with his book, Jiu Jitsu Unleashed, everybody was like, wow, what a crazy guy. And then the first EBI, also everybody was like, man, this guy is crazy. And then now look where he is.
Yeah, good point.
And the first EBI, I was doing the Worlds and the gi, and then the EBI was like a week after, so I was like, all right, I'll do it, and I was just doing it for fun, and we met like in a like it was like I don't know, I think it was like an old like a nightclub or something like that, or it was like a really weird venue.
Uh-huh.
And then Jeff Glover came in the weigh-ins like an hour late with a cigar in his mouth. It was just a surreal experience. And I remember, somebody was like asking Eddie the rules, and then he was kind of almost on the spot. It seemed like to me, like making up some of the rules because
Yeah.
we weren't sure like what would happen if people fell off the stage because they were just setting the stage up. We had no idea on anything, and
Sure.
it was really like I was like living my childhood fantasy of being in a blood sport, like
Yeah.
it's like
A kumite.
An
the
underground
Kumite,
tournament, yeah.
so and it was and then I warmed up. It was like almost like a go-go dancer booth, and then
Oh shit.
yeah, it was like such a funny experience, and
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny because thinking back to EBI one, they had 2 divisions, so they had 32 competitors. Since then, they only do 1 division, but looking back, it really felt like an underground tournament, and
Yeah.
it was the first one, so no one was really like believing in it yet, especially since the rules were new, like or a new twist on rules. But like you said, it's crazy how far they've come, and now Eddie has pushed it, and the competitors have competed and done well,
yep.
and now it's kind of reached its own new level, and it's surpassing a lot of big events, and it's great to see, man. It's great to see jiu-jitsu community evolve something and believe in something new.
Yeah. The last one, I imagine it's what it would feel like if I was in the UFC, at the highest level of training. Like I was walking out of the elevator and somebody called my name, and I'm still shocked till this day when people recognize me, and then I was like, who's this calling? And they were like, go here, go there.
Uh-huh.
Bruce Buffer was, using the restroom right before me and then calling my name.
Wow. You made it, Mama. I made it.
Yes, it was, and I competed against a guy that I've been watching myself, and I really, really love his jiu-jitsu. I don't know, the whole event, it was just such an amazing event,
Yes.
and I'm so happy because like in jiu-jitsu, it's very, very easy to become greedy in any aspect, because people love jiu-jitsu so much, they'll shell out whatever it takes to compete, whatever it takes to do a seminar, whatever it takes to do anything. And Eddie is like really giving money out, he's enabling some people to make a living off of it. Some people
Awesome,
are
man.
becoming professional competitors,
Sure.
and it's partly thanks to him, and it's a big, big thanks to him.
I agree, man, and I've spent a few conversations with Eddie, and on the podcast and personally, he's a really nice guy. And when I say he's not about the money for himself, he's really not. He's
Yeah.
absolutely 100% not. If you look at his website, whatever it's called, Mastering the System or 10th Planet, it's only $5 a month when he could
Yeah.
be charging way more than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You look at EBI, every move that he makes publicly as far as the competitors, it's always about the competitors making money. It's never about him. He's always talking about how he's not making anything off of them. He's probably making some now because he's getting successful. But like the guy is truly not about the money, and it's awesome to see someone who can be about the money, who's earned that, is really
right.
not,
Yeah, absolutely. And now, there's so many interesting tournaments. Like I mentioned to you guys that I speak Russian, and my new dream, I've been, emailing and Facebooking and Instagramming all these guys is to compete in Berkut, to go to Russia and fight over there.
And they're signing people now, right?
Yeah, they're signing people out. I'm emailing whatever Russian emails I'm finding. So
I think I know a guy. I'll try to make a connect.
All right, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so but because of now there's so many opportunities and it's so cool. I wish, I'm so excited to see in 10 years what's gonna happen.
Yeah, man. Speaking of 10 years, what are your long-term goals with your gym? Like, where do you see yourself and your gym 10 years from now?
It's so hard to say because even a year ago I had no idea I would even be running a gym. Because and what happened was I was running my own program in Koban's Muay Thai. I was running a Shaolin affiliate program over there.
Okay.
And then I told the story to a few people, but I think you guys will find it a little interesting too. I had another crazy idea. I always have these crazy ideas, and I always try to implement them.
Yeah.
So I had this crazy idea. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna find a warehouse in Brooklyn somewhere, and I'm gonna live there, and I'm gonna make it a 24/7 open mat that's donation based.
That was
my original idea.
Okay.
And I started searching for that. I started, every week, looking at a space. I was literally walking around Brooklyn with my girlfriend, and we were writing down phone numbers of random warehouse lofts that we were looking in Greenpoint and Williamsburg. And then I started looking for the legality of it. I had there's some people in Shaolin that are lawyers, and I was like, "What do you think of this?" And they're like, "Alex, you're crazy. You're gonna get arrested. Forget about jiu-jitsu. Don't do it." Yeah. And then accidentally, I found this the gym that I have now. I found it, accidentally because my friend, who's also a black belt under Shaolin,
okay,
he wanted to open up a coffee shop, and while I was looking for my warehouse spaces, I was also looking for coffee shop spaces for him, just on Craigslist.
Wow.
And I found a place that I thought was a coffee shop, and then me and him, we went to go look at it, and the landlord was like, what business are you guys in? And then we told him that we're in the, yoga, coffee, and martial arts business,
typical thing.
Yeah.
Typical, yeah. Just, swords, fighting, with fire. And he was like...
smoothies.
And he's like, hey, we have a dance school downstairs that they left. You guys want to take a look at it? We looked at it, and then my friend, he was like, hey, what if you teach adults and I teach kids? We go half and half, and then, we take the space, because the space was a really good deal.
Okay.
And we literally took it on the spot, not too much thinking. We took it right away.
Nice.
So my 24/7 idea, kind of diminished, but maybe for good reason,
Yeah, true. Something better came along.
Yeah, that's a pretty big undertaking, if you will.
Man.
Yeah, now I'm doing it legit, I'm doing it legit.
Baby steps, right? And then you'll just figure,
steps,
it seems like you just want to just make that move.
Yeah.
Step one, get a place.
Yeah,
and then from
yeah.
there, you'll figure out what kind of unravels.
It's like the white belt that's dreaming to win the world championships. Now I just won my first Naga. So
yeah. That's a good way to put it.
One day you're gonna get to that world for sure.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I want to ask you about your training real quick. In an interest to educate people and help them out with their own training, can you give some insight on how you train, whether it be, you personally, whether it be drilling, what type of drills you like to do, in what kind of format, how many rolls, what rounds, just a little basic, kind of strategy?
Yeah, so I look at my jiu-jitsu, I look at it as a stew. I look at it, and what I mean by that is, the Mendes brothers, I look at them as cake makers. And some other people, I look at them as stew makers. I kind of separated. I'm more of the stew kind of person. So what do I mean by that? The cake maker, if you put, a little bit too much baking soda, or a little bit too much sugar, or a little less, or whatever, it's not gonna work. It's very precise. Everything is very measured. Everything is calculated. I went to a seminar by them, and they're so precise and so calculated. And even the way they dress, man, their outfits, they look perfect, man.
Fresh to death. Yeah.
They have the perfect hat, everything looks good. They're geese.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that, my pants are blue, my top is white, I have, it's kind of wrinkly, I'm kind of all over the place. So my jiu-jitsu is a little bit like that too, I go to Shaolin's, he has a, really good lunch class. I go there twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then at my school, I try to train with the guys that come in, like, probably 4 days out of the night. And then I get together with a couple of friends throughout the day, and then we just drill different positions. I put on the timer for 5 minutes, and I try to, and this is how I kind of discover some, new things, or in my opinion, new things that I didn't see before. And I just start to flow. Like I'll go to the single leg X, and I'll go to the, Ashigarami. And from there, I'll try to see, oh, what if I put my leg like this? And then, I just start moving, and then start exploring. And then little by little start to, like, oh, I feel comfortable with this. And then once I find something I feel comfortable with, then I'll start drilling that over and over and over again.
Nice.
That's kind of how I do it. It's like, and then I'm online. I'm asking Shalin. I'm asking my friends. Like, I have some, close friends that are, great minds in jiu-jitsu, with their thoughts on certain things. And one day I'll do gi, one day I'll do no gi. I had an MMA fight last year. Like I'll train with MMA. Like, so, like, the new EBI, I love that. I wish.
Yeah, it's strike based.
I in my opinion, I have to, like, the last EBI, my performance wasn't that good, so I have to, like, prove myself. Fight a little bit more, and then I'll, I hope to get an invite there again. But I love that slap based type stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's funny that you say that. I've always been into drilling while communicating with your partner. Hey, how does this feel? Is this tight?
Sure.
Is this a little loose? Should I move this way? Should I move that way? And then move into that. So that's really important, because it's easy to blindly follow your instructor and just drill monotonously. And then it's hard to understand why you're not hitting a move. And that could simply be, hey, your instructor is giving you details for someone that doesn't have the dimensions that you have, the leg size, the body size, the strength levels. So it's important that when we drill, we do understand that, hey, I might have to be a little bit out of position or in position, or I might have to make a few different adjustments because of my body type, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's how, in my opinion, jiu-jitsu innovates. Like, you find new ways. I always tell people, like, there's an infinite amount of ways to sweep somebody. Like, as long as you follow the rules, there's rules in jiu-jitsu, but as long as you follow them, you can make up your own stuff. All the time.
Yes.
So
it's okay to deviate from the plan.
Absolutely. And then I always try to, like, give people different ways. A lot of times when I teach in my class, like, I show, like, I'll show, like, ways to, like, let's say, pick a simple thing like a triangle. I'll show 2 ways to do a triangle, and I'll tell people, like, do both, and then see the one you like more, and then drill that way.
Interesting.
Things like that, because for some people, like, sometimes I learn to move, and I don't care if I'm a black belt, bro. Like, I'll look like a white belt drilling it. Like, I'm just so uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
And I, maybe if I just change it up a little bit, then I'll enjoy it more.
Sure.
And I'm a firm believer in that.
One thing that my instructor has told me, and it really resonated with me, and he says, like, every new technique that you add, whether you're a black belt, a white belt, a red belt, anything, it's always going to start as a white belt technique, right? Even if it's after the first rep, it goes to brown belt, but every technique starts as a white belt. It's going to feel a little clunky, it's going to feel a little unnatural. And then as you drill it, as you practice it, as you hit it more and more, it will turn into a blue belt, purple belt, a brown belt. So when you observe your entire game as a bunch of techniques that are at different levels, then it's a little easier to kind of develop your game, piece by piece.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
So, yeah. Take that, Ames. Use that.
I will take that and and try to instill that into my philosophy.
I'll use it too. It's a great point. And it reminded me of a friend of mine. He's a black belt under balance. His name is Jimmy Serra. Like, he wrote a Facebook status that I still think about till this day. He was like, before I got my black belt, I thought I knew everything, and then once I got my black belt, I realized I didn't really know anything.
Nice.
And it's kind of, reminds me of what you said, because like, once you get your black belt, you think you know everything, and then you try to drill something new, and then you're a white belt in that position, and it makes you question yourself, like, damn, like, I can barely get this. Like, am I really, so it's. It remind me of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Marcos said the same thing. He said that once he got promoted to black belt, he realized, like, oh, the learning just begins.
Yeah,
like his journey just began.
You're almost starting over in many aspects and reintroducing yourself to new concepts. And I feel that way after every belt promotion. Like, when I got my purple belt, I felt like, oh man, I can breathe for a second, and then I went into a different kind of mode. And then when I got my brown belt, same thing. I felt like I could breathe again. It wasn't about proving my abilities anymore. Now I can start like learning again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. How did you feel when you got your black belt?
To be completely 100% honest with you, okay, I was happy because, I could, make my parents happy. Like my parents, we came to this country as an immigrant family, and like any immigrant family, the old story. They want their child to go to college, they want them to be successful,
Absolutely.
and I was so bad in school, man. And my mom and my grandma, they're teachers, and it's embarrassing, but I was just horrible in school. I was, goofing off, whatever. And then, like, I kind of, felt like I was letting them down a little bit. And then my parents are very supportive, and my dad never, like, flat out was like, "What are you doing with jujitsu?" But I knew he was thinking that. I knew he was like, what is this karate that you're doing? That's kind of what he was feeling.
Yeah.
And when I got my black belt, it was finally something to show my my parents something. That's that's one aspect. And the second one, I knew that the sad truth is this: like, if I knew that if I ever wanted to open up a school or ever wanted to do this, I knew that
You needed a black belt.
yeah, you need a black belt. And although I disagree with it, I wish it was otherwise. I knew that people would like come or not come based if I had this black belt or not. So I was happy in those two ways.
Yeah.
And for myself, I did the same exact thing I did when I was a brown belt, and my day went on. I don't even think I did anything special. I went to get a burrito, and then I felt good about myself.
Yeah,
and
You
then
did do
that's
something
it.
special, brother. You went to Chipotle, got yourself a burrito.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I got extra guac that day. I got some chips.
Oh.
See, you're a winner.
There we go. That was my celebration. But no, it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
No,
I don't.
got you, man.
I'm a firm believer in not taking yourself too seriously. I have a favorite quote. My favorite quote is, there are two types of people in this world, and those that are humble or those that are about to be. So, I knew that if I let my ego get out of hand, that I was gonna get humbled the following day. So I always curbed it.
Nice,
Nice,
man.
man.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah. Let's close on that. That was the perfect ending.
You dropped the mic.
Yeah. Boom. But thank you, man.
Alex, thank you so
love,
much for jumping
I love
on.
talking
Guys,
to you.
thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
For sure, man. And I wish you well in your school. It sounds like it will be very successful, whether you want it to be or you care about the money or not. It sounds like you're in the right direction.
Pioneer.
And, a pioneer. And this is something.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Sure, man. And let's keep in touch. Maybe one of these days I'll come by and train. I have to email you first and
We'll
get
come
the
by.
okay.
I'll don't worry, guys. I got that just for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Perfect.
I need to pass the
Hey,
prerequisites.
we're not crazy, man. We're good to go.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good, man.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Actually, tell people how they can reach you real quick.
Yeah, so I also just want to tell people, like, if you're in New York, my school's in Bushwick, Brooklyn. It's not too far, but if you're having, some money issues, if you can't afford it, if you lost your job, whatever the case is, if you want to come train, or if whatever, you just want to come get some good training, I'm in Bushwick, Brooklyn, so you can come by. The website is mastersky.com. The website is the word master, MASTER, the word sky, SKY, and then the letter A, mastersky.com. My last name is not Skya. I'm not calling myself Master. Again, Master Sky means workshop in Russian. So you can find me on Facebook, social media, whichever way.
Yeah.
Hit me up. You can definitely come train, or you can find me in Shaolins in the city, or I'm a pretty easy person to find.
On Instagram, you're at Half Guard Sweep, right?
I think that's why I confuse you guys. So I always change my name. Now I change it to Alex Master Skya.
Okay.
And then next year it's gonna be like Master Alex Skya.
Master Skya in the world or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Dude, awesome, man. Well, we'll talk to you soon and have a great day.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Absolutely. Take care,
Oos.
brother.
All right.
Peace.
If you guys like this episode, please,
Which you probably did.
give us a good rating, a nice like on iTunes,
Share, subscribe, rate, homie.
a beautiful review, a nice.
Rate us
Take-
5 stars. Yelp us if you want. Try.
Take your time, take 10 minutes out of your day, and write us this beautiful review.
Yeah, take 10 minutes.
You know,
That's definitely going to happen.
make my day by writing a review. How about that?
Yeah,
Wouldn't you want to make my day?
Not our day, just your day.
Yeah, I don't care about you.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Oh,
But
no, guys,
when my day is made,
nobody cares.
your day will be made. Because you find joy in me being joyous. And that's a fact. So anyway, guys, please leave us a review, share
shot in the
all that
balls
good
by
stuff.
Rubber
Stitcher, iTunes. I don't know where you're listening to this. It could be on the moon. But keep listening, and we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Peace.
One small step for man, one giant leap
Let's do this Chimera style.
For Jiu-Jitsu kind. Go to chimeracoffee.com. Type in the coupon code Show the Art.
Chimera for you.
And get some coffee.
Chimera for you.